Hey guys, it's Rex Wurx Outdoors. Today I am working on the mini skid. Well, not really my mini skid, it's my grapple. So I've been having issues. Everybody knows that this Chinese machine, Chinese grapple, they don't really build these things precision. I don't have any issues with the machine. I'm having issues with my grapple. This is generic setup to go on any kind of Chinese mini skid steer. So what's happening is when I raise and lower my grapple arms, I'm hitting my lines right here. This thing is coming back and it's hitting my lines here, and I'm hitting lines here. You can see where it has hit several different times. I've had to replace these lines a couple different times, and I'm tired of replacing them. I'm having to replace these fittings because everything is just coming back and I'm making contact in different spots. The main reason it's doing that is, if I can do this one-handed here, the main reason it's doing is, look at the slop. There's so much slop in the attachment plate to my machine. There's an inch of slop there. So what we're gonna do, I'm at my buddy Randy's. If I'm up at my buddy Randy's, I'm not a fabricator. I play one on TV. Randy has fabricated his whole life. His life revolves around metal fabrication. He's worked in metal his whole life. So I figured, who better to contact to make this better than my buddy Randy. So we're gonna take this off, and we're gonna see where the slop is at in this attachment plate. Basically, it's the attachment plate itself. It's not the machine, it's the attachment plate for the grapple. My other attachments don't have this slop. It's just on this grapple. So we're gonna take this off, and we are going to weld some shims in different spots, try to figure out where the best place to take the slop out, to try to get rid of all of that. We're gonna put some shims in there, figure out where it needs to be, and then we're gonna go back in and fill all of it in with hard welds and make it where it don't have all the slop. So stick around. But before I get too far involved, I just want to say, good morning, grandsons. Hope you guys are having a great day. Pop Q loves you. All right, guys. So what we've got is we've got some plate, and what we're going to try to do is we're going to attach it up here to try to basically build a shim out here, and we also might have to do something on the bottom because the pins on the machine are slopping around in those holes. So basically, to tighten it up, we're going to possibly put a shim up here, and we might have to do something down here to keep it from flopping around in the bottom. Hey kids, don't try this at home without a welding helmet. Okay guys, so what we've tacked those brackets, or that plate underneath here. We stuck it back on here. We've still got a little bit of slack that we're going to try to work out, but we're going to work it out hopefully because of these pins. So Randy's idea was we're going to attach a washer to try to eliminate some of that. We're going to just tack everything is just tacked on right now. We're going to tack these on both sides and then see if that helps, and if it does, then we'll weld her on there solid. I shouldn't be letting him do this, but he likes it. You can't slow him down. Yeah, I gotta stay on him about slowing down. Let me hold it, Randy. Hot. Okay, so we tack welded the pieces of plate on the inside of the grapple on both sides, and we tack welded washers on the bottom of the pins there to kind of keep the slack from slopping around. And if you look, there's just a little bit, but everything is sloppy. There's so much slop in everything. We could probably spend all day and just tighten all this crap up. You know, everything is just, the tolerances are not very tight on a lot of this stuff, which that's part of what you deal with whenever you buy Chinese. And that now I'm just going back and addressing the issues that I have. I can say that the grapple works perfectly fine. I have no issues with the way the grapple works, other than just where everything is laid out. Stuff is hitting. It's not designed for this machine. Had it been designed specifically for this machine, that hopefully they would have done things a little bit differently. But since it's universal, everything's just kind of thrown together. But if you look, there's very little. There's less than a 1/4 inch of give. A lot of it is the give that you're seeing is, I mean, the pins are moving, but it's actually not moving on. It's actually not moving on the machine. It's moving in the cylinder, and these pins are moving just a little bit. But we've taken at least a 1/2 inch of slack out of this thing, probably closer to 3/4 of an inch of wobble out of this thing. So stick around. Dang it, it won't let me get your picture. Now these are not going to be hard welded completely around those. They're still just being tacked on. That way if we ever have to replace them due to being ground down or wore off or knocked off, we don't have to cut the whole thing off. And all that is trying to limit the movement of those pins. So some of you may have seen Randy on some of my other videos, and he's been on 1 or 2 of Rock Hill Farm videos, helping weld some stuff on those videos. He won't let me show his face on camera, but Randy has a face for radio. So you can see from the top down how much slack there was allowed in these pins. After we put the attachment on the mounting plate, I mean, you've got 3/8 of an inch on both sides of slop that allowed that. And these, was that 1/4 inch, Randy? 3/16. This is 3/16 inch plate that he tacked in there to take up the slack there. So he's just going to continue to tack these in a few spots because these are probably wearable a little bit. I don't know. It shouldn't be too bad, but that way if we have to take them off, we don't have to do a whole bunch of grinding and cutting. Job. So his tacks and my tacks are a little bit different. His tacks are about 2 to 3 inches long. Mine are about a 1/4 inch long. As some would say in the industry, that's not going anywhere. And you can see where it's kind of been setting. That's how much room that you had. I mean, you can see where my plate on my machine actually hits. So basically, we've just put them right there at the top to eliminate any slack, and then we also eliminate the slack at the bottom. So now I can address any leaks that I have, because like I said, I keep hitting these elbow fittings. I've broken multiple of these elbow fittings. I've had to replace the lines, and I'm now in the process of having to deal with this again. So I wanted to get all of this addressed before I do any more hydraulics. I'm tired of spending money on hydraulic fittings because of this thing. So all right, guys, it's been a couple days since I did a little bit of recording on this project that I'm working on. We're still working on my grapple project. We tried to take some of the slack out of it with welding some plate on here, and we welded on some washers to eliminate some of the slack. Well, that took out part of it, but it didn't take out enough that my fittings for my lines, for my lines right here, these fittings are hitting. You can see where it's hitting, knocking the paint off of right there. And then this fitting is going back and hitting the front of my machine right here. So the next idea that I've come up with, so I've got some 1/2 inch material that we're right here. We're going to weld it in between here. And what has taken 2 days is I ordered some bump stops from Amazon. And this is a bump stop for a F-150. It's going to have a lot more force and a lot more weight on a truck than it is on my grapple. So what I'm going to do is we're going to weld that plate on here. I can hold on to this. So what I'm going to do is we're going to weld this plate on here. We'll have to figure out where it goes. We're going to put a hole in it, and we're going to put that bump stop on there. That bump stop will set there, and the bump stop, whenever I have it on the machine, will come back and it will hit this hydraulic cylinder right here, which will eliminate it from curling all the way back and hitting everything. So what we've got to do is we've got to get it fitted just right, so whenever it comes in contact with my cylinder, it essentially just cushions it. Because what my problem is whenever I have it idled up, there's so much slop in there, it bounces. It bounces about an inch. It was about 1.5 inches. Now it's about 1 inch. It's just too much slop. So I'm going to put this rubber bumper on here, and it's going to come back and hit that cylinder and provide a cushion. That's the plan. I hope it works out. I hope I don't destroy a cylinder, but we're going to find out. Stick around. So after all the modifications that we did, I was still getting a little closer to this part of the grapple than I wanted with my fittings. So we opted to cut this little notch out and just eliminate any future problems. Randy cut it out, and he's just kind of grinding off the edges there, kind of softening it up a little bit. All right, guys, we got this done. We had to continue modifying it. We had to go even farther than I originally thought we had to make this work. At least I think at this point it's gonna be fine. So it should stop breaking my hydraulic fittings. I'm gonna give you a quick recap of everything that we did. So on the attachment plate for my grapple, we put some spacers in there because it had a lot of slop in it this way. We also put some washers down where the levers go in here, the locking pin levers go. We made this bracket and attached it here and put a bump stop on it. So when it curls back, this bump stop will come in contact with my cylinder. I mean, it's rubber and gushy because what it was doing is it had a whole bunch of slop in it, and that helped take out some of the slop. Well, it didn't still take out enough because whenever I would do full curl, this part would come back and hit my hoses, and I broke multiple hoses right here, and I've actually got a leak right here. I've got a new monoblock coming for it to repair it. The last modification we did is you could see where it kept hitting right here on my grapple, where this fitting right here kept hitting on this grapple. I've broken, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 of these elbow fittings, and this one is boogered up as it is right now. So what we did is we cut this out and kind of ground it down a little bit. And now in full curl, even with bouncing it, I've got an inch between the edge of this and the face of that. Along with this, helping eliminate the slop, we put shims in here. It still has some flex in it, but all the flex now is coming from the cylinders themselves. So when it's just got a little bit of spring in the cylinders all fired up, and kind of show you what I'm talking about. You can see the bushing is making contact with that. I'm still close here, but I'm not hitting anymore. This fitting was coming back and making contact here. I've got to reroute these a little bit, but now you can see the gap where this was making contact with. So I've got over an inch there, and I still got a little bit of flex, but that's in the cylinders themselves. The cylinders are actually flexing at the bottom and top. It's not ideal, but it's a dang sure sight better than what it was. I can definitely work with that once I get my hoses up and out of the way and put my bungee back on there, because I normally keep my hoses strapped up here to kind of keep them out of the way. I haven't got them up there right now. Like I said, I got to fix them on a block. Hopefully that eliminates all my problems. If it don't, you guys will find out. This has been Rex with Rex Wurx Outdoors. I appreciate you watching. If you want to see more videos, I'm going to put links to more videos in the corner, and I'll see you on the next one.